Hi, it's the warrior here. Your anxiety isn't adult anxiety. It isn't random, and it isn't happening because you're weak, broken, or too emotional. The anxiety you feel today, the panic, the dread, the fear of abandonment, the racing thoughts that hit you at night, didn't start in adulthood. It started years ago when you were small, when you didn't have words for fear, when you didn't understand what emotions were, when you had no way to protect yourself, when your nervous system was still learning what safety meant and what danger felt like. Your anxiety today is childhood fear replaying inside an adult body. And when you finally understand this truth, not just logically, but emotionally, everything about your healing starts to make sense. Let's take a deep breath and go back for a moment. Think about the home you grew up in. Think about the emotional rules of that house. Think about what you learned without anyone ever saying it out loud. Were you allowed to cry? Or were you told to stop? Were you comforted when you were scared or left alone with your fear? Did love feel consistent or unpredictable? Did you know someone had your back? Or did you feel like you had to survive by yourself? Most people with lifelong anxiety weren't taught safety. They were taught survival. You weren't given emotional tools. You were given emotional responsibility. You weren't taught how to process fear. You were taught to hide it. You weren't shown how to self-soothe. You were shown how to suppress. You weren't held. You were hardened. And that younger version of you, the part that was scared, confused, overwhelmed, that part never got to finish speaking. It never got to finish feeling. It never got to finish healing. So your adult nervous system carries the unfinished story. This is how anxiety truly forms. When you're a child, your brain can't make sense of emotional pain. It can't reason. It can't communicate. It can't say, "This isn't about me." It can't say, "My parent is stressed, not angry at me." All a child can do is feel deeply and fully. So the body becomes the storage unit. The nervous system becomes the memory. And childhood fear becomes a template for adulthood. Fear becomes hypervigilance. Abandonment becomes overthinking. Shame becomes people-pleasing. Chaos becomes anxiety. Unpredictability becomes panic. Silence becomes rejection. Criticism becomes emotional collapse. You learn to scan for danger. You learn to overthink everything. You learn to anticipate the worst. You learn to expect abandonment. You learn to become small so others don't get upset. You learn to stay quiet to avoid conflict. You learn to hold in your emotions because expressing them wasn't safe. And all of that becomes your adult anxiety. ETs talk about what this looks like now. Your partner seems quiet, your chest tightens instantly. A friend doesn't text back, you spiral into panic. Someone gives you feedback, you feel worthless. You make one mistake, it feels like your world is collapsing. A loved one pulls away, you fear they're gone forever. Someone raises their voice, your whole body shuts down. These are adult situations, but your body reacts like a child who once felt threatened. Your adult brain tries to say, "Everything's okay." But your nervous system screams, "No, it's not. This feels familiar, and I remember being unsafe." That's why your anxiety feels so big. Because it is big. It's not reacting to one moment. It's reacting to an entire childhood. This is why logic doesn't work. You've probably told yourself, "I know I shouldn't panic. I know I'm overthinking. I know I shouldn't be this afraid." But logic doesn't reach childhood wounds. It doesn't reach fear that started before logic existed. Your anxiety isn't a thinking problem. It's a safety problem. And safety can't be forced. It has to be rebuilt. So how you heal anxiety at its deepest level? Not through willpower. Not by shaming yourself for your reactions. Not by pretending everything is fine. You heal by reconnecting with the child who learned fear in the first place.